Now, India versus South Africa match got over in less than 2 days. In fact, just a while back in Cape Town. It was supposed to be a test match. That's what it was the last time we checked. It can get a tad confusing, yes, with 23 wickets falling on day one itself and 7 more at the first session. If you thought South Africa's batting was abysmal, you had to catch the rest of day one or day two or the highlights now, which is as short as a one-day affair, to see the worst of it. Both teams battling over who could tumble first. Mohammad Siraj and Jasprit Bumrah starred with the ball during this test match. That was probably the only unsurprising thing that happened through the course of this very short test. Siraj did remark in the post-day press conference of day one that it was certainly not a 55 all-out pitch, but what explains India getting bundled out for 153 and of course South Africa capitulating to set India a paltry target of 79. Utter mayhem in Cape Town. But the man who made all the headlines from the test was no cricketer, at least not anyone featuring in either of the squads. Now, those who probably decided to take a bit of a break somewhere would have rejoined to match action, only to a rude awakening just looking at the scorecard, particularly on day one. But trust this man behind the mic to put it all in perspective for the listeners. India's Ravi Shastri, who is a bit of a riot behind the mic in commentary boxes and around, can leave you in splits when you least expect it. He summed up the match situation at the end of 20 wickets on day one rather succinctly. He said, and I quote, yes, 153 for 4 and then 153 all out. If someone went round the corner for a dump and has come back, India has been bowled out for 153. Now, it can't get more explicit than this. That resulted in a bit of a laughter, of course, in the box. And Paumi Bangwa, his co-commentator, sheepishly hurrying in to say, or a drink or whatever that they have gone out for. Now, if they turned away from the game for just a little bit, they missed it. But of course, Ravi Shastri's comment broke the internet. The joke was already out there, and understandably so. For a man who till a year ago was the Indian team coach, it was some dark comedy that brought a smile on a dismal day otherwise. And really, the only man who could get away with such a comment was none other than Ravi Shastri himself. And I thought, why not bring you some of the most memorable moments from the commentary box over the years. Some former cricketers just lend themselves to the commentaries that are etched and passed down. Now, there are many kinds of commentary that leave a mark. There are the funny quips, of course, that get some laughter, and the embarrassingly funny ones too that avid cricket fans almost always wait for. Like when Ravi Shastri or earlier India opener Navjot Singh Sidhu used to take to the mic. Navjot Singh Sidhu, for example, made some incredibly ridiculous phrases up that would just get people to wonder how he came up with it in the first place. Like these.
The Indians are going to eat the Kiwis. Let me tell you, my friend, that the Kiwi is the only bird in the whole world which does not have wings. There is light at the end of the tunnel for India, but it's that of an oncoming train which will run them over. The third umpire should be changed as often as nappies, and for the same reason.
And he came up with more of those where it started. He, in fact, even had a book where he maintained some of his amazing quotes. But of course, Ravi Shastri himself, who actually has delivered some lines that have gone down the history books just because of the relevance and sheer significance of it, really can't miss those. Like when Sachin Tendulkar scored a double ton in ODIs. He said, the first man on the planet to reach 200, and it's the Superman from India, Sachin Tendulkar. Or when India lifted the World Cup. Iconic phrases. Dhoni finishes it off in style. And his often repeated phrases like, that went like a tracer bullet, or it's all happening out here. Where else though? But Ravi Shastri makes tosses a spectacle. His booming voice and his hand gestures to go with it, indicating whether the team is batting or bowling first, is now theatrical drama that spectators wait to witness live or on TV screens across. He may have started it off in his usual demeanor, but with the crowds coming in to cheer him on, he now simply adds on to the drama. In fact, so much so that cricketers who he mentored while he was the coach of the national side or fellow commentators just starting out have paid homage to the man many a times.
In the blue corner, it's Rohit Sharma. In the red corner, God knows who it is. In the black corner, it's New Zealand. And in the khaki corner, it's Ravi Bhai.
There you go. Game, set, match with DK.
The ball goes like a tracer bullet.
With my boy, Shaky Boy, Abu Dhabi, F1, in the fast lane, ready to set it right.
Now, he and his commentary are meme-worthy. The internet laps it all up, laps up all the Shastrisms whenever they happen. It's almost like they wait for the next one to drop in. Fellow commentators can't have enough of him, and the best part, he knows it and quite enjoys all of it. Commentators have their style. A lot of how they played or spoke is whom they somehow manage to bring to the fore when they get that opportunity in a commentary box. Not everyone is able to do it. You have to shed some inhibitions around you or even laugh at yourself once in a while to get there. That's what fans love the most. And somehow it comes naturally to some of the Pakistani commentators like Ramiz Raja. He often probably doesn't mean to say what he ends up saying though. So there is a lot of unintentional humor there. But some like Wasim Akram genuinely can leave you in splits. Like when he shared this clip on his social media about playing in Australia and what comes with it.
Ever had to feel down at Bay 13, Moss?
Yeah, I did actually. It's a very funny story, but unfortunately I can't say it on radio. Can I though?
Yeah. Anything.
The
Go.
word starts with W. So in 89 when I've got my 6 or 5 wickets, I won't say the word, you guys can guess.
Does it rhyme with banker?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So at Bay 13 I've got Pfeiffer or something. They were calling me that Wasim is...
A banker.
Yeah, Wasim is a banker. Wasim is a banker. And I thought they were praising me because at the time I couldn't get hold of the Aussie accent. It was early days in Australia. And I was very, happy and waving them and everything. And then Imran came up to me, my captain. He said, what are they saying? I said, you're a good player. He said, no. They're saying you are a banker in Urdu. Explain it to me what it meant. I just said, hang on a minute.
It's anecdotes like this one and some banter that makes watching matches so much more enjoyable and memorable. When we speak of memorable commentators and commentaries, we cannot forget Tony Greig. Something about the way he spoke and what he said struck a chord with many Indian viewers in particular.
The little man has hit the big fella for 6. He's off his size. India have won in dramatic style. The whole of Bengal are on their feet.
Looks as if Enzimum's making a bit of a comeback. Sorry, Enzi. Don't want you charging up to the dressing room here and trying to beat me up.
It's commentators like Tony Greig, Jeffrey Boycott could say the most incredible things on the mic and leave many stunned or just in awe. In today's times, there are legendary lines that have lived to tell a tale, like that uttered by West Indian Ian Bishop. He spoke of Gartless Brathwaite, remember the name. It's a phrase that went down for years. Or New Zealand's Ian Smith, not one of the best cricketers, but boy, he delivered the line of the century at the 2019 World Cup final, where he says they won by the barest of margins. He was, of course, referring to New Zealand's heartbreaking loss to England. But there's a reason for the phrase, a commentator's curse. It's not just about that impacting the cricketers on the field, but just reiterates what one slip up behind the mic for the world to hear can cost you. Everyone remembers Dean Jones' faux pas when Hashim Amla took a catch to dismiss Kumar Sangakkara. I'm not going to repeat it, but he, of course, apologized profusely for this. And over time, the association, of course, wore off. But can't say the same for Sanjay Manjrekar. The Indian commentator ended up calling Ravindra Jadeja a bits and pieces cricketer during one of the matches. And forget the internet or the cricket fans. They, of course, went to town making memes and dragging him in with it. The cricketer Ravindra Jadeja himself did not let the man forget it. All that aside, commentary is meant to go beyond match action and statistics. It's what keeps the viewers alive and the match, so to say, alive. So I say bring on the Shastrisms and let's have some fun on the sidelines too.